Hello, my name is Miro Griffiths. I am a disability studies scholar and an executive editor of the International Journal of Disability and Social Justice. This series is called Meet the Author. The series provides an opportunity to learn more about the work, ideas, and interests of authors who have published through our journal. In this episode, Prayathna Kowitz discusses their publication titled Spivak and Rethinking the Agency of Disabled Children. Let's start. Please can you introduce yourself?
My name is Prayathna Kowitz. I'm a PhD student at the University of Frankfurt in Germany, and I currently live in Mumbai, India. And I broadly work with disabled children. I'm a disabled woman myself, and the focus of my dissertation is also on the lifestyles of children with intellectual impairments in India.
What was the inspiration for writing this article?
I grew up as a disabled child myself in India, right? And it was, you know, personally for me, the motivation is, I grew up disabled. I grew up, in a gendered body in a very strictly patriarchal society. And when I moved to Germany and I started this master degree program, it's a Master of Arts in Childhood Studies and Children's Rights. Um, Two things struck me. One is that there wasn't very much. I love the program. However, I noticed that there wasn't much of a focus on disability and disabled childhoods, and definitely not as much as I would have liked. So the issue of representation came up there. And the second was that we did a module on post colonial studies, right? And there was no representation of disabled children within post-colonial studies itself, right? So although India in itself, right, just India is a nation of about 1.3 billion people, and if you say about 10% of any given world population is disabled, it struck me, how remarkable it was that there was no talk, no murmur, no representation of childhoods like mine, childhoods like ours. So that was the motivation behind uh, writing not just this particular paper. This was a paper, the idea of this paper came about during my master studies when we were doing that module on post colonial studies. That's when I got the idea for writing this paper. And the idea was representation basically and inclusion, even if it meant well, on the one hand, you can look at it as participation of immigrant disabled people in shaping their own discourse, but or you can look at it as inclusion, maybe a mix of both. So that's where the idea came about from. Yeah.
What was the most challenging part of writing this article?
A lack of representation of disabled childhoods in post-colonial studies and vice versa, meaning in disability studies. Post-colonial, the idea of post-colonial studies beyond our childhoods, our life worlds are not represented as much. So, on the one hand, while it has been interesting and engaging to work on a subject that is so close to my heart, it also means that the Eurocentrism of disability studies, right, being that a lot of the research comes out of, say, Europe or the UK or the US, it also means that when I do, say, a literature review or I have to look for references for a particular part of my essay, I have trouble finding or linking it back to research that is from the subcontinent or from India. So I find that this is a topic that I continue to find very challenging also during my doctoral studies. And it is something I keep bringing up quite regularly with my PhD advisor as well. So that's kind of the challenge. Yeah.
What do you hope readers will take away from this article?
Spivak and reinterpreting Spivak as a post-colonial theorist within disability studies is it's not very common to refer to post-colonial theorists, when you're in disability studies. But I do hope that people read the paper, of course, and that people visit the journal and find, a journal that is inclusive of scholars from the global south. But I also hope that this leads to look, this work is never going to be complete. This is not something I can finish by myself. So I just hope somewhere I lay a little bit of foundation for somebody to pick up some of this work and continue. I'm really hoping to lay the foundation for, whoever follows from the subcontinent to carry on the work, to carry on the legacy, and to bang on about inclusion and participation and representation. So, yes.
What are you currently working on that you think would be of interest to disability studies scholars?
So, the topic of my PhD thesis is I'm working on this is a discussion that is currently going on in the UK. It is part of, it's being covered a lot a bit in the media, but also in academic discourse. It's non-invasive prenatal testing for trisomy 21. So I'm trying to contextualize it within India, um, within our own social, religious, cultural parameters. So what it means, not just to be a child with an intellectual impairment in India, but what does this test really mean from a social justice perspective? So that's what I'm doing as part of my PhD dissertation. And generally, if I were to take a step back for disability studies itself, I'm currently also working on a paper with physicians, obstetricians, and gynecologists and geneticists to find out, right? Because they are the ones who recommend these tests to pregnant people. So to find out from their position what they deem as a social and ethical challenges of non-invasive prenatal testing for trisomy 21, but also other impairments. So I'm hoping I get some interesting data in terms of social and cultural perspectives.
What are your hobbies and interests outside of academia?
So I went through the questions and I thought this was the most challenging one of the lot because I'm a disabled person, and I have a child, and it's really challenging. I wish I could say I have a ton of hobbies, but sadly that is not the case because there's barely any time to pursue hobbies. I read a lot. So there isn't that much of a demarcation between free time and study time because I find the field in itself is just vast. There's so much of work to be done. There's so many studies to be carried out. So I'm kind of very excited about where I am, the work I'm doing, what lays ahead. That I haven't really talked too much about free time.
I hope this episode was interesting, useful, and enjoyable. Please remember, all publications within the International Journal of Disability and Social Justice are open access. This means you can read them in full at no cost to you. Please visit the journal's website to find out more information about the articles and issues we have published. You can search for the International Journal of Disability and Social Justice through online search engines such as Google, or visit www.ijdsj.online. You are welcome to subscribe to our channel so you can be kept updated about newly released episodes and content. Until next time, goodbye.